Hi, my name is Jan Caldwell, and I'm one of the advanced practice nurses in ostomy care here at the University of Chicago. Erica, one of the things that many of my patients are worried about is concealment of the ostomy pouch. And I see that you have exercise clothes on, and we can't see that you have a pouch on. How do you consider what kind of clothes you wear to conceal your ostomy pouch?
One of the things I've learned is the looser the clothes, the more you're going to see the ostomy. But you don't want it to be too tight. So what's nice about this outfit is, again, my ostomy is on the angle, so you're not seeing on the pants leg. And so it's resting on the crotch, so nobody really sees it. And again, it's just, I'm able to just tuck the ostomy in and pull the shirt down. Another option would be yoga pants like these, where you can pull them up and then fold it down, and that can help hide if there's a little bulge of the ostomy bag. But it just depends on what you are most comfortable with.
I understand. Pull your top up one more time. So really the idea is to make sure that it's above your pouch, so it's not cutting off the flow of the stool, right?
Correct.
Talk to me about, say, dresses or skirts.
Really, when I look at a dress, I don't think really of my ostomy bag, I think of my undergarment. So I really have no limitations on the type of dress I wear. I just have to make sure I adjust what I wear underneath. One option is, this is a Spanx slip, and it's got a little stretch to it. I go up a size so that way I'm not putting too much pressure on the ostomy. But what's nice about this is, if my ostomy's low, I can keep it here, or you can move it up. It just depends on where your ostomy placement is. And then I pull on my dress and you don't see it. Another option, since it's cold here in Chicago, tights. As long as they're not control top or nylons, you can wear those as well, and that can help hide it. On some looser dresses, like maxi dresses, I might wear boy short underwear where I'll tuck the ostomy bag in.
For your advice then, it's mostly about the support directly over the pouch as opposed to some of the clothes.
Correct.
You've got blue jeans on, they look great. I'm wondering what some of the considerations are when you choose blue jeans.
Sure. Now I don't want ones that cut off the stoma, so this one is actually right at my line, my belt line. So I could just fold this over and usually just conceal it that way. But sometimes I'll add an extra layer, and this will help smooth things out, and then I could just tuck that into my pants and you will never know.
Well, that'd be great. Pick this up again. I bet that would be great for someone whose stoma might be a little higher.
Exactly.
They'd be able to conceal it with a little stretch in a cami like this.
And you can also try to find some specialty underwears that might be a little bit higher as well. I tend to wear just regular bikini underwear, and I actually put the ostomy bag over it, and the pants keep it flush up against my side.
You're right, it looks really natural. Good tip, thanks. Josh, you look really good. I like that you've got blue jeans on. You can't really tell that you have an ostomy pouch. What are some of the things you consider when you're looking at clothes and concealment of your pouching system?
Honestly, I don't really take anything into consideration with clothes. It's whatever looks good, whatever comfortable. All I do is I wear this neoprene belt. It's called a stealth belt. It's just an elastic material that just straps on. And I wear that and don't really have to worry about belts or anything else.
I got it. And your stoma is somewhere in this area here.
Correct.
And what I feel is kind of a firm little something. What is this that I feel?
That's just it's a plastic stoma guard.
Okay.
And that actually just slides up into the belt, and the tension of the belt holds it in place over the ostomy.
Oh, I guess. So it protects it, say, when you're roughhousing with your kids?
With kids, with seat belts, with yard work, with
Oh, that
whatever.
makes sense. And now your belt on your pants, is it cutting the flow off at all of the stool? Is there any issue there?
Not really, no.
Nice. So this is really key, and I've seen some other people that have similar types of belts, so there's a few other companies that make these, but your pouch actually folds into this belt, is that right?
Correct. Or you can just have it hang underneath either way.
Okay. Well, it really looks good. It really allows you to wear what you want to wear then.
Sure.
Great. Some good tips. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What you've just seen are two people who have demonstrated that they're doing absolutely what they want to do when they want to do it. They just need to give some consideration to the type of clothes they wear, so it supports the pouch and it conceals it no matter what kind of activities they'd like to be involved in.